What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with another one of these forgotten archetypes slash tribes slash, mechanics brews, which is what we're going to be doing between now and spoiler season for sure. When I come at you and say things like, "Oh, there's no new decks to build in Standard," I'm out of ideas. It's not that there's. I mean, I could come up with 100 new decks right now. Honestly, like there's so many cards that we've probably never even seen or played with once on the channel, or even in my personal time. They're just not that good cards, and that's probably why they never saw any play. But there's some of these that I think it was so close to being a tier deck, and then it just never happened. And then maybe people just kind of went past it. And it's always worth a while to like have a look back again and be like, okay, maybe if we do it slightly differently, what have we learned playing in the meta? Is there something that we've learned to take this to the next level? And if that isn't the case and it's still just a load of rubbish, then at least we'll have learned that. So that's what I'll be doing between now and spoiler season. You've probably heard me say this already in the previous video. I thought I'd just say it once more so it's clear. So for tonight, we're continuing to look at mechs or vehicles. I've been on this vehicle bent, especially those of you who've been following for the last couple of weeks or so. I did that like mono white rotation proof brew, then it was Orzhov vehicles. I've been putting this Bankbuster card in every freaking deck lately, and there's one color combination in vehicles that has a really cool card which I thought would make a bit more of a splash, and I haven't showcased this on the channel, or at least it was like part of a Brewing With episode briefly a long time back. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. Izzet Mechs. It's focused around this card, the Enthusiastic Mechanaut, which reduces the casting cost of your artifacts by 1 colourless. And it is also an artifact itself, which is quite important in the deck. So for example, something like the Iron Apprentice would be free. Having a couple of Enthusiastic Mechanauts on the board means you can cast a Surgehacker Mech for 2 mana. Free Reckoner Bankbusters, this type of stuff. So we've, to take advantage of that, we've got a lot of these colorless cards in the deck, but they're all pretty good. And there's a few different win cons here. So there's the kind of more classic, just Patchwork Automaton, play a bunch of artifacts, beat down the opponent with the Patchwork, which is pretty nice. But if that fails, then we can also either assemble the Mechtitan, which is a sneaky alternate win con within the deck. We can also slam the opponent with our vehicles and use our Mech Hangar to crew them. Then we've also got a couple copies of Tezzeret, the Betrayer of Flesh, which reduces the activated ability of an artifact you control each turn by 2, which means even if you have no mana available, you can draw a card with your Bankbuster, and you can do it, during your turn and during your opponent's turn for free. So if you've got like 2 Bankbusters, for example, you could do one of them for free during your turn, one of them for free during the opponent's, and just sort of alternate them like that. I've been doing it. It's great. So the cost reduction of your like activated abilities, which are some of the most expensive things in the deck, like the 5 mana we have to pay to do the Mechtitan Core thing, or the 2 mana that we have to pay for the Reckoner Bankbuster, are reduced by this, and then the cards themselves are reduced by the Enthusiastic Mechanauts, which is why I feel comfortable running only 22 lands in the deck, even though we do have some 4-drops. Then we've got some of the cards that just obviously seem to fit with this deck. Vaulted Surge, if you sacrifice an artifact, you can deal 4 damage instead of 2 for 1 mana at instant speed. And we've got the Iron Apprentice that we can sacrifice to the Vaulted Surge, and the Circuit Mender that both have great death triggers. One puts its +1/+1 counter on another creature you control, and the other allows you to draw a card. So it just, makes sense to run a Vaulted Surge. And the other card that is obviously intended to go in a deck like this was Disruption Protocol, because if you have a untapped artifact lying around, you can pay 2 blue and counter target spell. Just any spell, no caveats, no upside, no downside. And, you know, even if you just have 3 mana and you don't have an untapped artifact, it's still just a normal sort of rate for a counter spell. So, pretty nice. And then we've got a couple of Spell Pierce, but this is not the final version of the deck. Tonight, there's lots of things that I want to, like, suss out. You know, earlier copies of the deck had more Mechtitans, but then I realized that, you know, if the opponent just kills your Mechtitan, it'll reset your Bankbusters, which is quite cool. They come back with all their charge counters on them, but also your Patchwork Automatons come back as 1/1s when they, you know, because when they kill the Mechtitan, the Mechtitan Core gets exiled, and all the things that you use to assemble the Mechtitan fall back onto the battlefield, but they come into play tapped, and they would all, of course, be reset because they were exiled. So yeah, it's not the greatest synergy with the Mechtitan. It's not a kind of win con that works together. It's a separate win con that is, of course, fantastic, but you'll only ever activate the Mechtitan Core when it's like, you know that you're gonna win straight away with the Mechtitan. Which is why I ended up trimming it down to 2, which then allowed me, I had these like 2 extra cards lying around, so I was like, oh, should I put a Spell Pierce? Initially I had Seismic Wave in here for a little bit of a micro sweeper. I tested Thirst for Knowledge, which is the other card draw spell that seems to fit in the deck, where you get to discard an artifact and draw 3. Then you discard 2, or you discard an artifact. So, you know, there was plenty of alternatives, and I'm still not entirely sure. There's one called Suit Up, which is quite nice. Until end of turn, target creature or vehicles becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/5. Draw a card. This was in the deck. Or, you know, just also thinking about, like, cutting Tezzeret. Like, yes, the +1, I guess, is okay, but it's essentially the same effect as that Thirst for Knowledge on your Planeswalker. And the emblem, there's enough card draw without it. We've got the Bankbuster and the Circuit Mender's Death Triggers. It's been enough. I guess the -2 is pretty cool in some situations, but the whole point of these vehicles is that they're a little bit harder to remove because they're artifacts than creatures. So they better stay on the, you know where they do stay on the bottom of your battlefield, so that they can't get swept up and things like that. I'd rather not have them remain, creatures. So I was thinking maybe even just to cut the Tezzeret, which would make the cutting of the lands even better, or leave the Tezzeret in and not run the Spell Pierce and have just 24 lands instead of 22, and just be a little bit more consistent with the land drops. Lots of options. But for now, for this first couple of matches, we're going to be running it as I've been running it, the most recent version, with a couple copies of Spell Pierce and the Disruption Protocol for some additional counter magic. And that's it, really. Yeah, Surgehacker Mech becomes a pretty good removal spell when we've got this many vehicles lying around. Full place of the Mech Hangar means we can almost always crew our guys in the late game. I did go with 1 Hall of the Storm Giants. I don't know, I'm getting bored of these, and if we had to make the deck rotation proof, I'd probably just put in 2 Otawaras and 2 Sokenzans instead of these. But everything else is kind of the usual duels and basics. Izzet Mechs, baby. Let's jump into some games. I've been having loads of fun with it. I've been playing it. Been also trying to Samurai deck out. Might have to look at that one tomorrow. I would love to hear, your guys' thoughts in the comments. Like, what would you like to see me build around? I was also thinking of doing a Citizens brew from the most recent Capenna set. So many of these Citizens, and then it never really became a deck at all. That's a nice little hand. Aha. Is it going to be... Boros or just mono red? Like maybe goblins. There's loads of these mono red goblins players in unranked. I've been playing unranked all day today, just having so much fun. But yeah, there's a lot of goblins and a lot of life gain. Selesnya or like angels. Clerics or angels. Ah. Interesting. I think we play out the Circuit Mender. And then go for double blue in case we draw Tezzeret. We've already got 2 red. This is cool. It leaves the battlefield, so even if they hit it with a commander on the board, we still draw a card. It's not a death trigger, it's a leave the battlefield trigger, which also makes it quite fun to blink. Opponent. I'm okay with that. Okay. Stall it down a little bit. Can play out the Mechtitan Core and then maybe start removing some stuff, depending on what he plays next. Thinking like it's pretty weird. Mono red Vamps. Something. It's not the greatest card to play unless there's that. It's a card called Dragon something. Dragon Spark Reactor. Still want to play around that card a bit more, maybe in this couple of weeks before the spoilers begin. Okay. Oh, that's just beautiful. Six, baby. Now let's start attacking. Don't think he's gonna get me down 10. Okay. It's a land. Another synthesizer. It's another. Yeah. Yes. Swing. I'm all for that, mate. Woohoo! We're almost at the point where we can activate a Mechtitan Core. Running goes down to 7. We have a Voltage Surge available. Oof. 6. There's definitely a situation in here where we lose. He even held that top deck. Yeah, I mean, let's just finish the game. Shouldn't have tapped out like that, bro. Nice, very nice. Obviously not a very, like, top deck, but I mean, that's why we're in unranked. And at least I get to show off the cards. Very close to assembling a Mechtitan there. Would have been quite fun. It goes off more often than you'd think, but it also just dies right after you assemble it, more often than you'd think. If it had indestructible, that would be an interesting card. 1988. These are gonna be really cheap. The Iron Apprentice? Don't mind if I do. You can play a Circuit Mender and hold up Spell Pierce. Or the, I don't know what. I guess that's probably just going to be a Righteous Valkyrie. Okay, Voltage Surge is great for that Valkyrie. He plays a lander. Oof. Huh? It's just amazing. I love when stuff like that happens. Triple life gainy, boys. God, this is terrible. So lame. So lame. Oh my lordy lord. How boring. Surgehacker coming through. Third Innkeeper. This is why I was running the Micro Sweeper instead of the Spell Pierce. We may need to go back to the Seismic Wave or something to that effect. Whew. Full freaking Shazam of these little... it's terrible. Hey, well, we can make a Mechtitan next turn. which is pretty cool. Now we need one more mana. Vaulted Surge at that 4 damage threshold. Able to remove the Valkyrie. Wow, that would have been a disastrous game otherwise. Look how many of those little, like, triggers he would have had. Whew. Alright, so... I don't know about this Spell Pierce, man. Maybe this isn't the right deck. Maybe it's better to run a little bit more removal. We do have the 4 mech... you know, this guy, the 4-drop. The Surgehacker. But yeah, maybe the Spell Pierce would be better as... And this is what I've been liking. Another little bit underplayed card. Let's try that again. We run into some like mono white, people running more aggro-y decks with small creatures. We may have to have a look at goblins again though. It's actually a thing. It's starting to crop up again. Two Bankbusters, 3 Apprentices. Also, mono blue vehicles, or, you know, mono blue artifacts could be a sweet way to go with sorry, I'm just phasing out. I haven't seen this card in ages. Wow. Mono blue with Jingataxius.
Stop the knights. Run wild. Run free.
That's a long time since I've seen that. Pretty cool. Now we can counter whatever they play. Badoosh. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. This is gonna... deal with that. Let's go with another red. And probably draw a card. Oh, nice. Okay, if I cast 2 spells, he gets a wolf. Pretty dodgy. That would still leave up 2 blue mana for the counter spell. Or a Vaulted Surge. I'm worried he's got something available. Like a snakeskin veil. It's quite possible. Nice. Oh, I can still block you. And I will. Okay. Okay, Surgehacker Mech in the play, and we've got counterspell, tap and untapped artifact you control. Oh, it's uncounterable. Oof. That's nice. Put some more counters on my flyer. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, so dumb. I cannot believe I just forgot about that. But we can make a Mechtitan next turn, so I'm not too fast. Did we just die though? Let's play it safe. Okay, I knew he would do this. He's probably gonna bring down that big 6-drop. Okay, as long as there's nothing with reach. Could have... Oh no, that's 3 mana. Yeah, he could have one more of those, and then we lose our chance. We play this, reduces the cost of the activation by 2. We only have 2 mana left, it's not enough. So we just have to go for it. Dun 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 dun, Mechtitan Core. Ba, 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 ba. Come on. Is this the first time you're seeing this, mate? Doubt you have a spell. Oh, why did I attack with the little pilot? That was a huge mistake. Oops. My bad, my bad. Would have preferred to keep up the blocker. Oh, good luck getting around that. With your werewolves deck, I don't think there's really anything in your deck that can deal with the 10-10. Now you can try draw some cards. Eight. And if he's got that card, it becomes... Whoopsies! Mechtitan, assemble. Yes. So epic. So epic. So much fun. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. You only really need a couple of those Mechtitans. Because by themselves, it's not a very strong vehicle. It's just like a 2-4. Yeah, it's got a low crew cost. Makes a pretty decent blocker. That's about it. So now, Seismic Wave there we saw. It just feels a little bit weak. Even those little 2-2 wolves, you know, which would mean the same thing for 2-2 cats from a Seeker's Chariot. I mean, there's just too many things that it just doesn't deal with. Ho hum, ho hum. Deep thoughts. I wonder, what could we play instead of the Seismic Wave? Something that acts like a little bit of a sweeper. I mean, we've got some options, but we can't, then it's not really rotation proof anymore. Yeah, let's go with Tez. Yeah, here comes the Gobos. This could be terrible. The Circuit Menders are pretty nice against them. El Capitan. We have to waste the whole burn spell. Bum, 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 bum. Surgehacker Mech. Okay. That's cool. One on the card. Ooh. Hold up Disruption Protocol or draw a card. Depending on what is... Okay, so do we really need this Mechanaut? Highly boring. A little better. Table number 2. You gotta worry about this, like, you know, once you got 2 Kiki Jikis on the battlefield, it's not a good time. Pretty nice copy target for the reflection now that I think about it. Hey, I'm cool with that. I'm so cool with that. Okay. Whew. So, voltage surge, the reflection, hold up disruption protocol. Circuit Mender will gain us some life next turn. Nice. Oh wait. What? Had to get through almost half my library to find the first automaton. We found him. Okay. Ah, lucky. Card. Nice, also very nice. So much fun. So much card draw. Just keep finding options. Guys, I think there's not much else that we need to showcase here. Just a fun little brew. Not going to recommend you take this for a spin in Mythic. But you got to admit there's something to it. And I really hope that we get more support for this archetype in the next set. And from what I've been hearing from other content creators is that Dominaria does usually have a lot to do with artifacts. So, things like the Patchwork Automaton and the Enthusiastic Mechanaut and even Tezzeret, and it's just going to keep getting better. So, fingers crossed. And let me know what you would play instead of Seismic Wave. The flex spots, like I said, were the 2 lands, the 2 Tezzerets, and then these 2 cards here that are, I just don't know what to play instead. I even thought of playing, because I'm trying to keep it as rotation proof as possible. There's a 5 damage spell from Crimson Vow. Rending Flame. But again, I kind of was more interested in a little sweeper. I'm trying to think if there's been any new ones other than, you know, the kicker one that's still in the format, Syndiclasm, or the other one that has Foretell, Crush the Weak. See, damage to each creature in red. I got this one that does the 1 damage. Got the Syndiclasm, Crush the Weak. Yeah, Seismic Wave. And then, of course, Burn on the House, but then that would kill all of our stuff too. So, we're a little bit, probably Crush the Weak over the Seismic Wave. Although I do like that it can do 2 damage to face it in a pinch. I don't know. I'm still undecided. I think I'm just going to leave the Seismic Wave in there and leave it up to you to let me know in the comments what you think would be better. But that is going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage. As always, thank you all so much for watching, especially those of you who make it right to the end. You're my favorite people in the whole wide world. Thank you. Thank you for your time and attention. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all the day after tomorrow, will I? So tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow is an off day because now we're doing 1 day on, 1 day off. I leave on Monday for Milan. Tuesday, I'm getting on the plane. So yes, I think I'll still be able to have 1 more video before I jump on the plane. And then things might get a little sketchy after that, while I kind of get unjet lagged and settled into my internet situation and things in Indonesia, which can be a little bit difficult. And then we'll resume, you know, is it correct to say bi-daily? Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks so much for watching. This is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.